Welcome to Be Continued. My name's Jake.
My name is Garrett.
And my name is Dare. To Be Continued, where we continue all your favorite stories from TV, movies, and anything else pop culture related.
Today's topic is going to be very, very fun one. Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. Great movie. The Whip. Just got a chance to see this movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but fair warning, there probably will be spoilers sprinkled throughout.
100%. This isn't going to drop till like January probably too, because we just had our month of Christmas, December. Hope you enjoyed that, but we can definitely probably spoil the fuck out of this. So
let's do it.
I feel like if we're going to talk about any movie on this show, it's hard to continue without fully talking about what went on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So just for the audience sake, like,
I mean,
hope y'all buckle yourselves in with the proper
for some spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, it just happens. We're continuing shows, so you know we're gonna spoil Legend of Korra. If you saw that episode, we're gonna spoil Star Wars. Luke's dad is Darth Vader. Sorry if you just heard this for the first time. At the end of Sixth Sense,
Shook.
Bruce Willis sees dead people. Dude.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Bruce Willis is dead.
No, he doesn't see dead people. He is dead. Thank you. Yeah. Wow.
We should have had him do that in the jump.
Now that we got the big spoilers of
at the end of Jaws, the shark
out of the way.
dies.
Anyway, what'd you guys think of
Spoilers.
the Miles Morales movie? Or the Into the Spiderverse movie? Because it wasn't really, like, it was his origin story, but it wasn't really, like, you got a lot
just
of the
his
other
movie.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's
was
the first
really
time we're
well
getting
shared.
him on the big screen. You know what I mean? It is
Yeah.
animated. It's a crazy
It was
animation
great.
style as far
So
as, like, never
wild.
seen a movie presented that way with, like, the full-on comic book panels at times and, like, the comic book texts and, like, just to really hone in on the origin of where these things come from and like really just let that be an aesthetic a part of the movie was such a refreshing style to see on an animation front. Like
They
name
blended it
another
very
movie
well.
but name another movie that looks like this. Like there's scenes that like
No, it doesn't exist.
blur.
It's wild.
Like,
yeah.
Did you guys notice the
Yeah, there was
blur?
parts of it was blurred.
Yeah,
it
it was
did.
almost like it was 3D, but it's just that's the style that they went for. Like,
Yeah.
they're blurring
That's
shit out
interesting
on
that you said that
purpose.
because I noticed that today when I was like, what? Because there's times where like there's a close up of his face and then there's like a sign in the background for I don't know what it was.
There's a lot of stuff where he's like driving with his dad too. A lot of the background's blurred out.
Yeah.
There's a part
Chance
where
the Rapper 4. Like,
Yeah,
there's so
that
many
shit's
different like
blurred.
hints and stuff. They took a lot of time. The writing, like they foreshadowed, like there were so many like symbolic lines that were just like flipped.
Did you
on
guys
its head at the
see
end.
Lego Batman?
Yeah, some of it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah,
Oh,
the movie. Yeah.
some of it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it kind of lends itself to the same.
just the way that
style,
they
just
like.
different-
Well, it's
we
by the
got,
same
like-
people.
You
like-
guys
Oh,
have
it is?
seen these?
Yeah, the same people who did the Lego movies did.
Well, the original
Spider-Man.
Lego movie, but not Lego Batman. Maybe they're still producers. I don't know, but it was different directors. Like the guy who's
Okay.
making supposedly the live action Nightwing movie is the guy who made Lego Batman, but he was like assistant animator on like a lot of movies, and then I think that was his directorial debut. His name's like Chris McKay, I think.
Chris McKay.
Yeah, it's the guy who directed Lego Batman. But what I was saying is that like the way that they wink at the culture of Batman is kind of what they do with the culture of Spider-Man. Because
Oh
it's
my,
like
huge,
you've seen the origin story 50 times, so every time they tell you an origin story, they're like, all right, last time. And then at the
Yeah,
very last
yeah.
time, it's like, okay, last time for real. And then like it's like, oh, that's cool. Like they totally get where we're coming from. Like we know how Spider-Man is Spider-Man for the most part, but we didn't know Miles Morales' story, so that's why that's the focal point of it. Like that's why his is the last one to like they tell it through like these comic books just stacking on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like where they introduce a new character, and the reason Miles Morales is the last one because it's like, well, you can't just fast forward through that. Like that's something that we want to tell with you rather than just tell to
Well,
you.
I think they did a great job as far as it's not heavily relying itself about his origin, but they're really expressing the point of the Spiderverse, like the multiverse, like that, using that as something to keep it interesting and like engaging as a story device was like
Right, it's
really
not just
helpful.
straightforwardly his story.
Because I don't
like,
want to see a
it's-
complete origin of Miles.
No one wants to see another
Garrett,
Spider-Man origin. Period.
I had asked Darius this question. I'm curious to see what you think. Would you like to see the sequel with more people from around the multiverse, or would you like to be just Miles?
I mean, the only way I would continue this thing is that he goes into other universes, not more people come into his. So I think it was teased that he can kind of go into different multiverses. So I think that's the only logical thing is that he's going to be the crux that can go between all these worlds and I don't think the key is to necessarily have other characters come to him, but he should go to other characters, maybe with the cast that we already have. Or I just can't picture you not having Nick Cage pop up again, or like not having
Spider-Man 2099.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think with the end,
she's probably the one that you could go with the least in reality. Like, I thought she was great, but it's like, as far as standout moments, like Spider-Ham and Spider-Man Noir was pretty funny.
I would be more than happy
Spider-Gwen
just to see Miles, honestly, like in one movie, but I'd want to see like tidbits of the other people, like,
What's
you know.
Yeah, you've grown attached to all of these like, people that you want to see them all like.
They kind of just shot
like
themselves
that.
in the foot by like going so big.
No,
Yeah.
they could still do
Almost.
it.
Almost though, like, because I would be let down if I found out that it just was in New York and it was just him fighting Johnny Blaze or whoever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I would be like, that's not as crazy.
Well, they
they like, I mean, they've already announced that they're trying to do female spin-offs and a sequel to this movie. So like, you could see a Spider-Gwen animated film alone, and maybe like Black Cat shows up somehow, or like females team up movie with these animated spider characters, but all female movie. That's like in the works right now. And then you have a solo sequel. So if they're able to somehow like build the universe around these spin-offs, then yeah, that would lend itself to be like, yeah, we still acknowledge that this universe is grand, there's a lot going on, so much so that there's other movies to service that want and that need as an audience member, to the point where if you had a Spider-Gwen movie, you had a Spider-Noir movie coming out, then your sequel to just Into the Spider-Verse could focus just on Miles, because it's like, okay, but we still have all this other shit, like, we're not just ignoring it, like, we're actually giving them more time.
You're talking about spinning it into an entire like franchise where you have
That's what they're doing, it seems
and
like.
then you have like separate solo stories.
I mean, this movie at one point when it dropped, it had like 200 reviews, or 100 reviews or something, and only one was negative. Had a 99%.
This movie is really good.
So they're greenlighting multiple sequels, so it's like,
I know, but
knowing that, then yeah, I would be all right with all that. But as far as like,
I really can't see
else,
any of the other like people carrying their own series besides Morales, though.
It's just because
Like,
you haven't seen enough.
No,
I
maybe
disagree.
Spider-Gwen, Spider-Gwen, but
I would die for a Spider-Ham and Noir team up movie. Just them two running around. Fuck yeah, they were that good to me. Like, for real. Like,
did you guys know about?
they were the best parts of the movie in a lot of places. Like, in my opinion, as far as lines.
You guys
What?
know about this relationship between Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales?
Not really.
So in
really.
the comics, they're like together. Like, I don't know at which point right now, but they are often like found like dating and stuff like that.
Got it. So yeah, she's
So that was
definitely
the
the
little
shoe in to
tease.
come
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got that from the beginning when she's
Yeah,
just the
when
girl in the
she's-
class. Yeah, 100%. But
She showed up like a week early, and she just like gets herself in with the school and like creates a whole new identity.
yeah, because her
She's, like,
Yeah,
smart
what was
and
up
all
with that? Yeah.
well her thing was that her like paradox time vortex thing sent her back a week.
Yeah.
So it was like she was like a week ahead of everybody, even if they all came at the same time on the
Yeah.
Earth. Like,
I
she
know, but
got
that's
sent
a
back in
lot to do
time.
for a week to set up a complete backstory.
I mean, she's smart.
Dude, I mean, yeah, she's smart. I'm just like impressed that like she's only like a kid and has her only experience is like spidering. I know she's had to do that before. You think she's had to like create new identities and things like that before? See, here's where we
Yeah.
can go, where we can get more mysteries into. Like,
I think it'd be so dope if you just had like a Miles Morales sequel and had like a heavy like Spider-Gwen presence, and it was like a team up movie between them two. I'm just trying to think of like what
I
a
guarantee
good
she's the
villain would
only
be
one
for that.
that's going for sure to be in the sequel.
Yeah,
they
no,
could go
definitely.
into
I
other
definitely agree.
characters.
okay, so let's like try to pitch something that's. So you're talking specifically Miles Morales story.
Yeah, Miles, but then Spider-Gwen like helps him.
I would like to
Okay.
see maybe a Sinister Six with like a whole new set of villains, and Miles Morales has to maybe ask for help from Spider-Gwen or some other like heroes
Yeah.
to do this.
What
I think it
villains
was
do
cool
you
seeing
wanna see?
like, well, it was cool to see the three like hit like Peter Parker, Peter B. Parker, Spider-Gwen, and Miles Morales all like if it was just the three of them. But yeah, villains I think would be sick if they could do it. Would be like villain or Venom would be cool.
You think they
a
go that
Venom
way?
story.
Venom
Even
or
though they
like
have the
Carnage.
Tom Hardy stuff.
Oh, what about the
Yeah.
Venomverse? Have you guys seen that with Marvel Comics? There's a Venomverse where basically every universe gets a
Or every like character in the MCU got a symbiote.
well, yeah, pretty much that, but it was like taken from that universe. So like in this universe, Doctor Strange had the Venom, and then he was transported to fight in some war.
That's
against,
wild.
Like another Clintar.
They
race,
just don't have
is
the
that
rights
whatever?
to that.
Oh yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
you
they
could
do.
also have a Venomverse. That would be a really good
They
parallel.
could just have Venom though, but
I think they should just.
They could just.
It would be cool. Like, think about how they would have him animated, like with that kind of thing.
really cool.
He could be
That'd be
really monstrous.
Or like
that was
Carnage
the cool
too.
thing is to see Kingpin as big as he is in the comics.
Yeah.
Finally, like because they could like
Yeah.
no one's has to watch him walk through a door.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't need to.
You
see
notice he was literally the shape of the door throughout the movie.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
pointed that out in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that! Look at that!
that. I like that because first question I had was how does he get in there?
Yeah.
How does he get in the elevator?
My question was, how did he get in the freaking bus or the train or whatever at the end? Like he like smashed out of one side. Do you remember that when they're like
He's
in
quick,
the
dude.
interdimensional freaking
he was
Jumble.
thinking about Vanessa.
Vanessa?
Oh yeah.
What was his
Vanessa.
son's name?
Richard.
Thomas. Bobby.
It's Richard.
Bobby.
No,
Ricky
Bobby
Bobby.
Boucher.
a little bit.
Johnny McFlair.
Okay, villains for him. Who would you like?
Pin King.
So many.
For the next one?
Villains for the next one, yeah.
I don't know. I want to see some of like new. Like I'm trying to look up right now, like his own villains list, because I don't want to see. If I want to see this Spider-Man be Spider-Man, I don't want to see him fighting the same villains Peter Parker has. I would like to see some like legacies,
want a good
like
Kraven
extensions
story.
of the villains.
So if that's how
Craven's interesting.
if that's the way I have to have it, I'll take it.
Oh my God! How about this? Kraven the Hunter is hunting down various Spider-Men for the hunt of it, for the thrill, for maybe it could be the
hunt
game,
of it.
or maybe he's like training to fight like an ultimate. Yeah, that'd be totally like a Kraven, like him wanting to.
That's cool. I like that.
Maybe he's gonna like try to fight the biggest Spider-Man, and he has to go around fighting.
That
all
makes
the
sense,
Spider-Man.
actually. Him going to different. Somehow he figures out a way to go to different. Like maybe
feel like
Wilson
Kraven-
Fisk is still funding it from jail or something.
Yeah.
Isn't he alive?
Fisk-
He's alive. Yeah.
well,
he
in
got
that
arrested.
universe he is, but you have so many different Wilson Fisk. There's so many different.
I think
like,
it still has to originate from his Earth, though.
Oh,
like
the
the
story
threat.
wise. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm thinking like.
You know what I mean, though. I
multiverse-wise.
think it
But
could.
you can't have a-
You would obviously you could have a scene where all these different Cravens come, but like in the end, I think his Earth has to be where the crux starts. Like whether it's
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
they're
Yeah,
fucking shit
definitely.
up just because it has to be his arch net. Like
I think
if
this.
it's
I think
another
the way they're
Earth's
gonna travel
nemesis,
throughout.
Why is he yelling at this Earth's miles? You know what I mean? Like it just like it almost adds less levity. Where it's like if Spider Gwen's Craven came in and was like, I hate this Earth's miles. Why aren't you just fighting the miles on that Earth? Like doesn't Gwen have a miles on her Earth?
Well.
Yeah, that
yeah,
should.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
why,
should
why
be
is
a
she
thing.
fucking with that one? Like that's all
Well,
I'm
it's
saying.
probably a different person. Like.
Or maybe he just
You
didn't
could be
exist
like-
in that universe or something like that. That
Maybe
could
Miles
be-
in that universe.
Well,
is
no,
a jerk.
because they're all supposed to be versions of each other, aren't they? But then again, her story was that she lost Peter Parker. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So it is confirmed that there is versions of everybody on the Earth.
Maybe
so
that
it's like,
Miles has died.
Well, yeah.
Show for show. So he's the one So that
Or he's the villain. Maybe he's the Venom.
or where's Gwen?
Ooh, that would be a cool.
Where's Gwen in his universe?
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you're right.
Why doesn't he just do that? That'd be way easier.
Well, that Gwen
Okay,
would be
so-
older. That Gwen would be like way older because that Peter Parker was older, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that Gwen's not going to be the same age as
Well,
Miles.
the Peter Parker on Gwen's had the same facial animations as the original Peter Parker.
in
right?
Gwen's world.
Didn't he? Or did he
Well-
look like the second Peter Parker? Did he look like Peter B. Parker or Peter Parker?
Oh my
He looked
God,
like kind
man.
of like. Well, he
Because
looked.
Peter B. Parker was older than Peter Parker.
Yes, but both
Not
of
really.
those
They
Peter-
look the same. They look pretty much the
Both
same.
of those
I think
Peter
they're
had
the
like
same
a
age.
gut and like he was divorced.
Well, because in the one who died was in it said he was born in 91. It was 91 to 2018, so he's probably the same age.
Yo, Peter B. Parker was 22.
Was taller.
Peter Parker was
fatter. He's let himself go.
Yes,
Definitely
he
let
got older.
himself go.
Peter B. Parker's in the future. Peter Parker's the one who's died, but that Peter Parker, the one who died, is much older than the Gwen, that the Spider Gwen.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Peter Parker,
So why are they
Miles.
intrinsically tied to age?
Well, I'm just saying, like universe to universe. If it was that Gwen storyline and like that whole like story with Gwen and Peter Parker would be much earlier than Miles. Miles would be technically like in the future.
Assuming that they're the same age.
Assuming story wise, if Peter Parker knows Gwen, because Gwen is tied to Peter Parker's story,
I see
not
what you're
Miles
saying.
Morales' story.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. But if Gwen and Miles are the same age though.
Yes,
they're
because that's
15
two
months
different
apart.
universes. That's two different universes. But if you're looking in the Miles Morales universe, Gwen is much older.
But we don't know that because we never saw her.
Well, yes, but if you keep that same Gwen Stacy storyline with the Peter Parker with the Green
I
Goblin
see what
with
you're
all
saying.
of her
Got you.
life and her stories,
That they would have to be older.
then he would have to be older because that's Peter Parker.
You can still find an older lady.
Well, yeah, you can still find
Find a cougar,
lady.
Gwen.
Well, anyway.
Gwen the cougar.
Yeah,
We
get
spent
back to
way too
what
much
villain
time
you
on
want.
this.
Yeah, I like the I like
I'm
the
just
Craven idea.
curious. Time is a crazy thing, and this is where they're fucking with my head, dude. Why are you bringing universes?
We all know
Okay.
Sony's not very good about getting dates right. They
Hell
literally put
no.
8 years later.
Hell
and
no.
Spider-Man Homecoming. That's the
What about
All
time
I'm finding
travel
is
for
that this
these
guy
universes?
has no
What'd you
arch
say?
nemesis.
What about time travel for these universes?
well. Okay, so
yeah, that's what I'm
Spider-Man
bringing up,
2099.
Yeah. And you
Is
can have a medieval
Yeah.
Spider-Man, and you can have like Miles Morales maybe jumping through time to learn like
Yeah.
the legacy or more about the Spider-Man.
well, I was gonna say that I feel like that's definitely gonna be the way that from the future that they're all gonna be able to visit each other's universes through
Because-
2099's technology. 'Cause
What about a hint? He went to 67. He went to the past.
Yeah.
He didn't go to like alternate like zombie Spider-Man. He went to a past Spider-Man, to the very beginning.
Yeah.
Well, not very beginning, but one of the show.
Pretty much the beginning.
Pretty much the beginning, yeah. So maybe he's like jumping through time trying to like equip Spider-Man, and he jumps into Miles Morales' world and says, "Hey, I got a bigger job for you." And Miles could be like, "I already know how this works. Let's go." Like,
I've actually no. I think
That'd
that's
be cool.
actually a good idea. Like if he's when he's like, hey, because that brings him the need to like have another like call from all the other spiders, you know?
yeah, or he'd be like, "I know some people too that
Yeah.
can help out," or that'd be willing to do this.
yeah, like it'd be kind of like his story in his universe. You know, it wouldn't have to be about saving his own universe. I don't know.
Exactly, yeah. And maybe he's like, I have to do this because like it could be a newfound responsibility, or maybe he can. This is more of him instead of learning how to be Spider-Man. He's learning the job and duties of Spider-Man, like what Spider-Man means to the people. So it's more of not an internal like growth. It's more of a keeping the I don't know, keeping the responsibility.
Status quo.
Yeah, and so he has to learn it throughout time, I guess, to fight Craven or somebody.
Yeah, I definitely want to see like more like just action with this new and improved Miles Morales because it was like
it was sick.
he was really
His
badass
costume
at
was
the end.
Oh my gosh. And Aunt May in that world, man, that's awesome.
Badass. Yeah, she was great.
So in the comics, there's an Uncle Ben who is Spider-Man.
No way, really.
Yeah.
There's
So
an
it
Aunt
looks-
May who is Spider-Man too.
Woo! Universes.
But yeah, it's just saying that the closest thing he has to a nemesis is a.
Is Aaron Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
No way,
Prowler.
really.
We already saw that.
Dude, I think Prowler needs a more iconic costume design. I mean, I liked what he was wearing, but
I fucked
it didn't
with it.
feel like...
I fucked with it.
I did
Yeah.
too. I really liked it.
and
Yeah.
the score that would play like.
No, the
Yeah,
music was awesome.
yeah. Oh, dude, chills.
Reminded me of the movie Arrival.
Rival's a good ass movie too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of ways that they could go. I
Would
mean,
you-
you guys already heard what I said, but like, do you guys think it should stay on his Earth, or what do you think? Like, more
Yeah, we were
people-
kind of talking about that before. We were saying that I think it'd be cool that he would team up with Spider-Man at 2099,
Uh-huh.
and then that'd be their means of traveling. And basically, because he had a problem in his universe or something like that.
Got
or-
it.
What if we get a... this is kind of a Flash storyline, but what if we get a future Miles Morales coming back to the current Miles Morales to, like, warn him or to be his, like... He'll be his enemy, trying to, like, rewrite the wrongs and stuff.
That's possible.
I'm
That's
talking
interesting.
about, like, an evil version of an older Miles Morales. To be,
Yeah,
like, a dark
yeah.
reflection of what he could be.
You want to be older? Like evil, I mean? Sorry, not
Yeah,
older.
no.
Obviously, he's older. He's
and
from the
evil,
future.
yeah.
Future.
Oh, you want
But-
Miles Morales
Yeah.
older to be evil?
But why would he help?
Maybe we get
Why
another
would he
version
come
of
and
Miles.
help him then? Because he realizes all his wrongdoings?
Or no, maybe he's trying to, like, control things and change history and change time and stuff. Maybe it's to save a loved one or to avenge a death or to prevent, like, some oncoming thing or a disaster. Oh my god, what about, like, a huge terrorist attack is about to happen and it's up to Miles Morales to stop it, but the future Miles Morales comes back in time to say what you do doesn't work or something, like, I don't know, I'm trying to, like,
You're a failure.
ah.
No, not you.
Oh.
Miles. I
I was trying to think of something better to, like, come with, like, a villain.
feel like you took that real personal.
It hurt. It hurt.
It hurt, man. It hurt.
Take Harry
What?
Osborn, throw him in the mix.
No. We've seen that 700 times. What character? What?
Do we need a character? I think we just need a storyline or some more elements to work with. What about in the Citadel of Ricks? You have like a Citadel of Spider-Man. And there's like, this is too big.
What if Miles gets on a plane?
Okay.
That plane separates.
Oh no.
Crashes on an island.
Iron Fist.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
Iron Fist.
Crashes on an
Iron
island.
Never mind.
There's a polar bear, smoke monster. There's a doctor.
Okay.
Then they use the flashbacks
Okay.
to tell the story about what happened before. They were just like Lost actually. Wow.
Just like
I just realized that. Damn, that's crazy.
Okay.
I like the idea of
Come on, we gotta bring Lost into every episode. It's a tradition I forgot about.
You forgot about it. All right, so let's think of any other Spider worlds or like storylines that we could do for like a sequel.
I mean, it's endless.
But I mean, what would be the plot? Like, I feel like that's the only problem because you can have multiple characters and things like that. But
they do have the rights to Venom, correct?
Yeah.
Sony does.
So we can definitely
any
get a Venom
Spider-Man
sequel.
character. Just like Doctor Strange wouldn't allow to be showing up. That's all.
Okay. Well, we can throw nods to those characters and stuff like that. But
I think
they
that'd be
don't
good.
own them. But like, it depends on what you mean by nod.
well, in
They
that
could call a guy Professor Weird
Like nods to the Avengers or
instead
something.
of Doctor
maybe.
Strange.
there was the Iron Spider suit in like the movie in one of the backgrounds.
Because they own that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like they
Well,
don't.
no, I'm
that's
saying
not a
just-
nod to the Avengers.
It
Like,
is.
You know what I
It's
mean?
a nod to Tony Stark.
It's a nod to
It's
us.
the nod to like Civil War and the whole like story. So that would say that event already happened. That's
But
why it has the
not
suit.
not that Tony Stark though. It's not. Even
No, it would
like-
be a completely different. It would be the Ultimate series.
But like that's not even.
It's
Like,
not
it's a
owned.
no-
Yeah, I get you can't use that like per se, but you can drop a hint and be like, "Yo, our some cool people in the Baxter Building gave us this."
They
like,
can't say the
device."
Baxter Building. Like they can't say
okay.
anything. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like the nod is the fact that you know what that is, but
and they don't
but it'll
say it.
never be anything. If you ever get a spider suit in these like Ultimate in any of these Sony movies, like it's not because of Tony Stark. Like if Venom ever has a Spider-Man show up, it's not Tom Holland until that contract is up. You know what I mean?
They wanted to have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
like
in
do
the movie?
voiceovers, yeah.
Oh, that'd
But
be
it didn't
funny.
work out.
That's cool.
That'd have been cool.
But yeah, I mean, like it's just like you're just working with Spider-Man stuff. Like you can't.
Definitely would be a
Like, you
huge
could
fan
have
of
it, but it would be
Venom
like
being a part of it.
Dr. Octopus gave it to him.
Wait, hold on. Would you want Toby to which Spider-Man would you want Tobey Maguire to voice over?
Venom.
The one that dies or like the one that is
Isn't
Michael
Tobey
B.
Maguire
Peter B. Parker?
the one that died? Isn't that the one who he is? Isn't he Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Because like he's like
Kind of same.
they showed like 4
scenes.
scenes from the Spider-Man
Mhm.
trilogy series, and they're like, "You remember this? Remember this? Remember this?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
so
was
he would probably
was
know
that Peter
exact
B.
words.
Was that
No,
Peter
was
B. Parker or the
original? I think.
Oh, the one with
First-
in Miles'
First, because
universe.
that's where he's stopping the train with the.
Yeah,
That was in both the movies, right? Peter B. Parker had the same like kind of story, just a little bit longer.
Oh, did they show?
Yeah,
I thought they
hi-
showed
yeah.
different scenes.
Yeah.
too. Oh, maybe not.
Well,
No,
in
they
the
do
first one,
different
in the
scenes.
first one, when like he's kissing Mary Jane like upside down, it tweaks out and she's upside down.
Oh,
Yeah, I just noticed that when we watched it today.
That's interesting.
all right. Do we have any other stories, or do you want to explore more into this Venom verse or Venom story that you can do for Miles Morales?
I don't know if I want to see the same shit twice.
Well,
Like-
maybe what if
I feel like that would add some comedy
You
to it
would
because it'd have to be
a
lighter.
different villain. Knowing that Mysterio is coming up in a new Spider-Man, I think they're gonna stay away from that.
Wait, I have a pitch for you.
I'm thinking Craven, man.
Okay, but
Craven, hunt against the universe.
Hunt Against the Universe.
Hunted the universe.
I like the idea of just building upon the Sinister Six, as in like switching out some characters. Because obviously
like-
Prowler isn't a part of it
You
anymore.
want Scorpion, you want Green Goblin. I'm trying to name people that we saw. Doc Ock, is she alive or did she die?
I think she's still alive.
So then you have her, and then Kingpin running it from jail.
You got
So there's
Scorpion in
3.
that thing.
Yeah, I said him.
Oh,
So you got those 3. So who are the other 3 that you would want to see in the Sinister Six?
Venom.
So you guys
You
still
were
really
so
want
into-
Venom.
Wait, I have it. Okay,
Even though
how
we
about
have
this?
a live action Venom.
How about this? How about this?
Yeah.
So Miles Morales starts really loving the role of Spider-Man more so than his own life. So then he like gets addicted to the role of like the love and glamour of Spider-Man. However, at this time, he also finds a little bit of venom getting onto him. And so now he really gets into this role of just full 100% Spider-Man. He's like being more aggressive to villains and things like that, where the cops are like having to like put Spider-Man down. Like not put him down, but like we have to arrest Spider-Man. But the only person who can, you know, get the venom off of him and like bring him back to his real character is Spider-Gwen, who knows the real him.
Cool.
So she comes in and has to like save the day, and then you have to like debate and things like that.
Do they kiss?
Yeah, I guess so. All right. I feel like the next movie would be the one to like open up their relationship kind of more.
Do they bang?
Let's explore that.
Let's explore.
All right. So back to this.
I just feel like
you
if
want a
I was
Craven
in
story.
charge, I would never put Venom in a sequel. Only because
What? It's such a staple.
I guess really the only thing
Not
that's
for
making me
Miles
attracted to the idea
Morales.
is like for the animation, like just to
unless
see
he
him
goes
like
to that other Spider-Man's
you know?
world and sees Venom fighting him for a second. But I'm saying, dude, what's the point if we already have the story in live action? Like, why am I wasting? If there's so many other characters that we could pull in,
Okay.
why are we seeing the same ones again? That's my only nitpick with any of like that crap. Where it was like, I like seeing that version of Kingpin because we couldn't do that before. We couldn't see that version of Green Goblin before. So like, what other ones could we not see before? Like, I just don't know what the answer is. But it's
pull
like,
up the ultimate villains of
who would benefit most
Ultimate Spider-Man
in an
Ultimate
animated
Spider-Man
form?
villains.
You know what I mean? Like if they ever did an animated Batman movie, like Man-Bat would be a great option because he's so.
You want something different.
No, I
like
just
how
mean
they're
like
doing
take
Mysterio.
advantage of the animation side of shit. And I mean Venom would also benefit, but like it's just again, if we already have it going, what else
says
do we do?
Deadpool.
Would you want to see another?
Deadpool.
Oh my gosh! Imagine Miles Morales and Deadpool.
Because that's what they brought
Okay.
in. They brought in like the Ultimate Goblin. That's what he was, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like did they hint that? I think they hinted it, but oh yeah, he was fighting the big Spider-Man.
It's
Or
We
just
could
Silver-
do-
Sinister.
I know this is already against what I said because we've seen a billion rhinos, but we haven't seen the rhino in the suit.
Yeah, I want like
You
I want
could
to
do
see.
that.
him in
That's
the
a good
rubber-
idea,
the
actually.
rubber
Yeah,
suit.
like the actual cartoon.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
You could like after like make Venom come in from it, you know?
Yeah, and wasn't Tombstone his Tombstone was in it too. We didn't mention that. He was like the,
Yeah, Tombstone was in it. Yeah.
He was like his henchman.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Tombstone's not a henchman character.
It was
He's a
fine.
boss-like character.
What else are you gonna do with him?
Yeah.
You're gonna have seven movies revolving around Tombstone. Tombstone ended up.
Well, I,
Ooh,
don't know.
I'm
I just don't know
Tombstone.
much about Tombstone.
Just kidding.
He's a strong ass character though.
How about Dracula? He's apparently a villain.
Who's
Oh.
Dr. Bong? I want to know.
Dr. Bong. Oh, that's
Yeah,
a real
he's
thing.
got like a. He's got a bong.
He has a bell for a head. Yeah, this is the only guy.
I actually have this comic with
Really?
Deadpool. Yeah.
How about Swarm?
So, no. That's something you could do well with the animation of it, but
He's
I don't know
a
if he's
former
that strong
employee
of
of
a
Stark
villain.
Technologies. Can't use him.
I know you're going to hate on this, Garrett, because
No, I'm sorry,
it's repeated,
guys. Am I
but
being an asshole?
Sandman would be cool with this animation.
That
too.
would be cool too. That would actually work.
all right, let's list off let's pitch our own
Craven
Sinister
Man,
Six
MODOK.
here. All right.
They can't use MODOK. So.
No.
Sorry.
All right, so in this Sinister Six, in Miles Morales' Sinister Six, there is a Sinister Six out there for Miles Morales, but it's kind of like a weak stack.
More
I
monster.
say weak stack, but yeah. Anyway,
Arachnakid.
yo, what's there gonna be? Arachnakid?
Yeah. Magia was trained to fight Spider-Man. So it seems like she started in a
Interesting.
in a Spider-Man comic. So you could have Black Rabbit. It's the only answer. Ooh.
Yeah, whoa.
I'm getting a lot of like
Just like chest hair.
like parallels with Batman Beyond and Miles Morales.
Yeah, definitely.
It's that whole legacy role and like
Mm.
Batman training a new like hero to face similar villains.
How about Dragon Man? Everyone's favorite villain.
Dragon Man is
I want
a
a Dragon
dragon-like
movie.
humanoid android supervillain.
He's a robot, partially. My thing is Electro.
Click on that Sinister Six. Electro would be cool.
Where is that?
Up a little bit.
The the Electro in the Ultimate Universe, he looks like the one in Amazing Spider-Man.
They got Rhino, and Craven.
So Beetle, someone that we didn't bring up apparently, who was in the in Sinister Six.
Beetle's like a mercenary. It just has a bunch of like weapons.
Lizard, you know.
Hydro Man would be cool to see.
What is he a part
Scarlet
of? He's a part
Spider.
of the. He's actually rumored to be a villain in.
Yeah, and Far From Home.
And I didn't believe it until I realized that he's part of that. What is that fucking? Like that. He's like a part of like the Illuminati, but whatever they're called. But like they all have
Illuminati?
like. Not literally that, but he's a part of a group where they all have like elemental powers, and then it's rumored that like they're gonna like him and what's it called, Mysterio, are gonna team up to take down this like Illuminati task force.
Well, okay, so you actually do have Hydra Man.
Oh, this is
you have
the Ultimate
Sandman.
Series, that's why.
And then you have there's a Molten Man. I don't know if there's like an Airman though. You got like a
Crossbones.
Airman.
Yeah.
Crossbones is actually Marvel owned. That sucks.
So
Yeah, there's really not that much. Ultimate Goblin, someone you can expand on. Scarlet Spider, I guess, is evil. So there's that.
Oh, you can have the clone saga. That would be a pretty cool like storyline.
Yeah.
And you could bring back a Peter Parker. You could bring back the Ben Reilly.
As much as I'm a hater, you guys are right. Like, Venom probably will show up at some point. Like,
Well,
why wouldn't you?
I mean, if this thing goes like super well and stuff,
but they
they're
should
able
at
to,
least
like,
poke
build
fun
more.
at it.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
I don't know. There's a lot. Like
that'd be funny if you said like one time I had to fight a creepy like darker version of myself.
it'd be.
Whereas like, yo, Venom, that's bad. Don't touch it.
Maybe it'll be
It's
Flash
like,
Thompson.
that was that Venom.
Since we have Eddie Brock in human form, we'll get an animated Flash Thompson. Venom.
Ooh, it'd be cool to see like an Agent Venom.
There you go.
It-
There you
That'd
go.
be cool.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, then you can kind of have different versions of Venom.
Aquaman shows up. It'll be sick.
Aquaman shows-
It's just an ad. My bad.
Just
But, This
Yeah.
this episode is brought to you by Aquaman. In theaters now.
All right, so we've come up with the Craven the Universe. Craven the
Craven the
God,
Universe.
that sounds so cool.
I'm down.
So okay, what? Spider-Man, Craven the Universe, and then you've got a Venomverse. Is there any other ideas that we can come up with?
I honestly think Spider-Gwen can run her own movie trilogy.
Yeah.
I really do. She has
Oh.
enough story in the comics that they can expand on it. What is she doing?
Oh my God, we can have a team up with Gwenpool, Spider-Gwen and Gwenpool.
I mean, it's
What-
not possible, but yeah.
Oh, well, no, Gwenpool's Avengers character.
Isn't that like Deadpool involved?
Not really. No, they're actually not.
Deadpool's like Fox, owned by Fox. So
No,
Disney
I'm-
now, but yeah.
Well, I don't know if Gwenpool is actually because she doesn't have like storylines or is tied directly
What's
to
Gwenpool?
Deadpool.
I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Look up Gwenpool because her origin is that she was like transported into a comic book, and then just had all the knowledge of comic books, and she like leads a team of not
Gwendolyn.
great supervillains.
She started in Deadpool Secret Wars, so
Oh,
it'd be a weird
Yeah, it's
one. It's
a
a
Deadpool
weird
title.
It's a weird gray area because her first appearance was also in Howard the Duck, which I guess is also owned by Disney. But it's a weird gray area because it is the character of who? Oh, Gwendolyn Poole. It's not even like Gwen Stacy.
Gwanda.
oh yeah, that's funny.
Oh yeah, Gwanda. Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know.
Can we? What would be a good Spider-Gwen story? That wouldn't it? See, they kind of threw out all those origin stories, so that you
Yeah.
don't have like an origin story to go from.
I
It's
kind of
just
like
more
that
like
though.
you want to.
Why do you want to
No,
see
really.
more Spider anything
Yeah.
origins?
Well, I want to see
I've seen
other
that a billion
Spider-Men.
times. Well, yeah,
'Cause
they could
there's a lot
still
of the
do
good
that
ones
same
that, like,
style.
they left out.
They could just keep adding to the pile in the second one or whatever. You know what I mean? Just this perpetual pile of Spider-Man quick catch-ups that we got.
I guess I don't want to see more Peter Parkers. I just want to see more various.
We could see
Spider-Man.
Silk come into it. It'll be cool.
Yeah, that'd be something. Yeah, so like Silk, the Ben Reilly clone. You have like Uncle Ben as Spider-Man. You have 2099 Spider-Man. You have Miles Morales. Like some different characters like taken.
Because
That'd be cool.
she's in a different universe, so all these can look different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the most part, besides like, I don't know, Punisher and shit that they're listing, but like, you have like Silk the organization too, not just Silk the person, but Project Green, who is a super adaptoid known as Project Green.
Oh,
There you
I've
go.
seen his
Dude.
picture around, but I haven't seen the.
What if the whole crux of her story is the Norman Osborn on her Earth is trying to start this Project Green, where it's turning a dude into that guy, and they turn his name, which is really bad, into a project for his corporation.
Well,
boom,
should
boom.
we? Okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
Venomverse aside, do you want to see some Osborn in the following movie? Some more Osborn.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
What
I mean,
happened
they already
to?
established that he's big though on that Earth, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it'd be anything.
I mean,
like
that'd be in a
or-
different universe then.
Yeah.
Either a different universe or it would be.
I
'cause
think
what
they
happened to
would
his
bring
character?
Jake Johnson back though
He's still
too.
alive though.
I think they should go into the
Those characters alive.
2099
I'm just
universe
saying.
and
I
fight
don't know.
like
Can
a
he turn into small?
Okay,
fight like
What are you
Norman
guys
again?
saying?
What do you mean?
What's going on here?
We're
I'm
talking.
yeah.
Um,
Who wants to talk?
we both can at the same time. You want to go? 1, 2, 3. No, I was just saying that Norman. We already know that he's big, so can he go small? I don't really want to hear Goblin talk all movie.
No.
But if we go to a different Earth, such as where Peter B. Parker is, then his Norman could probably be just the guy flying on a saucer.
Well, I don't want to downgrade.
It's not a downgrade. It gives character motivation. How much character can you get out of a fucking Goblin? Really?
Oh, how about that? The Green Goblin.
I feel like whatever trife he went through, like as a human, has already happened.
Well, here's that. Then the whole collider was broken down, but that Green Goblin is like pretty. He's still intelligent, right? He could at
Probably.
least like use it to create the portal device to other universes and get all the Green Goblins. Or that's the only way I can think of like connecting them all together. Because how they brought about the other Spider-Man wasn't intentional. It was just more of an accident of Green Goblin putting his face through the collider.
Yeah, it was just because they got his DNA right.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
So you can either have him teleport to different universes.
Well,
all
that
the different
machine's
universes.
broken, right?
Yeah, but you can still use. You could still be rebuilt
Yeah.
or redone or just by someone else.
And you think a big Goblin's the guy to do it?
I think Big Goblin's the guy to get somebody to do it or
Got
to.
is he even smart? Or like
Well,
what,
Norman Osborn's pretty smart. It's just
you're talking about the giant goblin.
I don't
who's in
know.
this
Yeah,
one?
I don't know if the big giant goblin or ultimate goblin is still like sane or whatever. I think he's just like a beast.
That's why I
No,
think
no,
you'd
he
have
can
to.
still. He's
You'd have to have like a Norman Osborn from like the 20.
you know
or, like, a
that's
different
like evil,
universe.
like
Yeah,
Lex
that's like
Luthor
a-
almost type.
Yeah, exactly.
Character.
And then he like has like the. I think it'd be cool to say like a tech
Then have
version
Mr.
of like
Negative
the Green Goblin or Mr. Negative. That'd be
pick
cool.
up the pieces after Fisk and try to use the collider to expand his army or whatever. I don't know.
Definitely would like to throw Rhino into that, like another like Sinister Six
Yeah.
version, kinda.
I think the most logical person to rebuild the collider is Miles himself, because he wants to see Gwen.
He wants his what?
He wants to see Gwen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how they did the weird. I don't know what they were alluding to at the end of the movie, where you hear Spider-Gwen's voice talk to Miles.
Yeah, I forgot.
That's-
Oh yeah,
Is she just doing that willingly, or like I don't know where that goes.
maybe she found a way to
I
do
think
it.
I think that's
Yeah.
part of him like being able to go across universes. Like
Would you guys want to see a turf war story, but with Miles? So like with Fist down, now that opens up like the world to new territory and new like fights
Yeah, that
across.
would be pretty cool.
So you would have like I want to use Mr. Negative, but Mr. Negative versus Hobgoblin or versus like well, Tombstone's down, but you know you have other people trying to like create their impact and make their mark in their land, and you have Miles Morales trying to work with the police to pretty much solve it all. But that's pretty. Now I'm thinking of like a political Spider-Man. Like, what role can Miles Morales like be? Where does he go? Does he take it and do something new like Creed and Rocky, or does he do the same thing, like fight the same stories, like Nightwing and all those Batman stories and Robins? End up just going back to being Robin or being sidekicks for Batman.
there's just so much they could do. Game over.
Well,
At this point,
there's the time. I've been Dare.
I've been Garrett.
I've been Jake. This has been To Be Continued.
Where we just continued Miles Morales Spider-Man.